Shalom. We're still preparing Parashah Yethro, which is the Parashah that covers what we know as the Ten Commandments. Now I just want to spend a bit of time on that, because first of all, the Ten Commandments is an event that's associated with the tablets. The first event prior to that is the 10 words that were spoken, and then it was written down and then given to the people. And on his way down, they built the golden calf. Moshe broke the commandments as a symbol of them breaking the commandments, and then he went back up again, and then you get the final set, and that takes place over a period of time. So Shavuot that people are used to is just, you just count 50 days from the wilderness, or from leaving Egypt. That's basically first fruits. Now if you count 50 days and you look at the timing of Israel arriving at the wilderness of Sinai, or the foot of the mountain, that happened on the third day, the same day they left. Now they left on the 16th, that's first fruits. Remember, 15 was unleavened bread, and then on the next day they left, which is the 16th, and they basically entered the wilderness on the 16th, crossing the border, exiting Egypt. And that same time they exit, the same day they entered, which is on the 16th of the third month. So we have the first month, which is the feast of Passover and unleavened bread. And of course the 15th is unleavened bread through 7 days. And the very next day, the 16th, is basically first fruits. They didn't celebrate first fruits because it's an offering. They couldn't offer because they had no harvest, because they were slaves. They just left. And they didn't count the Omer as we used to, counting the Omer to determine where Shavuot is. But they counted the manna. Now counting the manna, we discussed last week, has to do with the cycles. The smaller cycles, which is the weekly cycles, and how that looks like within a month. Now we started off with the monthly cycle, and how the festivals fit into that within the year. So this is basically the arrival point, the point when they started their preparation for receiving the words, the 10 words, for meeting Yahweh in person. So this is a major event, very spectacular. And of course, if you want to enter, just like the priesthood had to cleanse themselves in the laver before they go into the holy place, and even once a year when they go to the Holy of Holies, they need to cleanse themselves, make sacrifices, and prepare to come into the presence. In the same way, there were two processes of cleansing. The first one was crossing the Red Sea. That's symbolism of a mikvah, of a cleansing that prepared the people for facing the mountain. And then the same pattern, when they arrived at the foot of the mountain, that to cleanse themselves again for 3 days, which the 16th is inclusive. And then 3 days after, they heard the voice from Yahweh speaking from the mountain, which will be the 16th, 17th, and 18th. On the 18th day, Yahweh spoke. The reason number 18 is significant, because the gematria of 18 is the word chai, that means life. There's also a few other words, but we'll look at that when we do the study. So I just want to emphasize the mountain connection with life, and the importance of preparation and cleansing before entering the presence of Yahweh. Now someone asked me, when is the best time to get mikvat, to get baptized? It's the best time for mikvah. It's the starting of a new cycle, is when you prepare for Passover, when you prepare for entering or exiting Egypt, that pattern. And it's normally good to undergo the mikvah prior to attending the Passover, because the Passover is the covenant feast, which also symbolizes the marriage feast, and you want to be prepared as a bride, because we're on the other side of the first coming of Mashiach. So we symbolically see Passover as preparing as the bride sitting at the wedding feast. That's what the Passover is all about. But as with the Passover, it also has the symbolism of leaving Egypt. And as we will go through the time crossing the Jordan River, there will be a lot of people that will be cleansed, that will come in, and they need to be purified and prepared in order to receive the commandments. So what is the symbolism of being purified, of cleansing yourself? If you picture the word of Yahweh as water, you already have a glass that contains the water of the word in some way, shape or form. But the water that we carry with us before we meet Yahweh at the mountain is polluted. It's polluted by doctrines, polluted by translations, it's polluted by your opinion about interpretations. And you need to get rid of the polluted water into your glass so that Yahweh can fill it. So you need to come empty to face the mountain, and the cleansing is the pouring out of previous things that you were used to do as part of your culture or as part of your Christian walk, your upbringing within the church, whatever. I'm not saying that we should reject the church altogether and speak bad about them, because you never spit in the pool you once drink from. A lot of people came to faith through the church, which is a good thing. But now we need to move on. We need to start walking towards the mountain, because the mountain symbolizes the standard of Yahweh, which was symbolized by the rod of Elohim that Moshe upheld to overcome Amalek, or the flesh. And we also see in this Torah portion, we'll see a next enemy. I'm not going to elaborate too much about it, which will be the third enemy. So the first one was the Nachash, Egypt, Pharaoh. The second one is Amalek, which is your flesh. And we'll discover a third enemy that will start to come into play, which caused a lot of issues. And that's why Jethro advised Moshe to get help in order to be a judge and to counsel people in the ways of Yahweh. Also the statutes, the chukat of Yahweh, which are the Moedim, the festivals, the Sabbath, and the instructions, the Torah. And that's part of what Moshe did in helping the people. Now that word judge is not to say, oh, you're wrong, you'll get 7 lashes or you'll go to hell. That's not that judgment. That judge is in relation to judges, which is like Solomon. He had the wisdom, and people come with a problem, and then he judged the situation in order to apply wisdom for the benefit of the people to resolve their problem. And in the same way, you cannot be a good judge unless you have the wisdom, and the wisdom of Yahweh is found within his Torah, and that is what we receive at the mountain, and the mountain experience. So I'm going to leave you with these thoughts. I hope you have a lovely day. We'll have a few more discussions before Saturday, hopefully, and dissect the word a little bit more. I hope you have a lovely day. Speak to you soon. Shalom.